I don't know how you got this number, but it's 2 in the morning.
If I say who it is, you might hang up.
I can still hang up.
No, I'm just surprised you couldn't tell by my voice. It's me. It's Toby. Look, I've been thinking. You know, I've got my priorities out of sync, and with this whole quarantine, it's got me thinking about the past
Toby,
and the things that were most important in life. I hear you've got this big, long reel that is dying to be shown.
Jesus. Look.
What?
Yes.
What?
I got the footage that you guys buried.
Buried?
Yeah.
Buried? What? Zack, no.
What is it to you?
No, I would never do that. You're not thinking straight, man of real. Come on, we can get the whole gang back together. Gal Gadot's already got this song we're gonna sing live to support Smiles or some, or at least the Snyder cut.
Toby, look, have you ever driven a car with no seats or with no panels or no steering wheel?
I've tried.
Dude, that's what I have.
In Kentucky.
There is no Snyder cut.
What?
I can't fund that myself.
What? You can fund me any day, Zack. You've turned a large percentage of the DC fan base into a water slide. You're so trendy. Let them be penetrated by the cuts, man.
Yeah, but
fans, Martha.
Are you thinking of a theatrical release?
Better, Zack. I'm gonna let you put it where nobody's stuck it in before. My streaming platform.
No time restrictions whatsoever.
Ouch. Sure.
Okay, well, I think it's gonna be around $30 million to get this finished. So if you want to cut me that deal, I will let the world see the Snyder cut.
Do you mean it?
Yeah, of course I mean it. Dude, what the hell is that? Toby, is that you?
I'm outside with the contracts. Can you bring me some clothes?
What the
What is up, my Gaggle of Geeks? Welcome to tonight's episode where we're going to be talking about so many things. Crazy stuff happened this week. In the year of 2020, where anything is possible, we're getting the Snyder cut. Justice League, Snyder's Justice League, however they're going to call it, it's coming. Ruby Rose has left Batwoman. We'll get into that. Bill and Ted is being helmed in a way by Soderbergh in a lot of ways. And we have got a big, I guess, one of our people that are in the scene, Julian, the last employee at Blockbusters, would like to come on and talk about a new thing that he's going to be fighting for. So I'm your host, Patrick, and I have got my co-host here with me, of course. He is the man with the plan, Chaz. How's it going?
Oh, it's Friday. I'm happy it's Friday.
Yeah. It was a weird way to start the weekend because I'm sure if you guys are watching this, if you found it anywhere, it's on YouTube. And if you don't know, it's usually on Facebook Live, but it's not anymore. And we're going to try to be happy through this and not think that we just lost everything. But let's talk about the person that I'm most excited to be here. He is Fox 13's host, and he hosts his own show on YouTube called Critical Mass, which I've been a part of, luckily, and he's an amazing film critic. Welcome, Rich Bonaducci. How's it going, man?
Very well.
Dylan's glad to have you on. I've been wanting to have you on this show, particularly for a while, because of your amazing sense of humor, which is a great lead off into. We were just talking about the Tenent movie and the new trailers that were coming out, and all
Tenent movie.
Yeah, however you want to say it. If you want to say it backwards or forwards, Tenant, it does work. If you want to say it in a different country, like Tenant, a different language.
Tenant.
But all three of us have gotten the chance to take a look at this. This is Christopher Nolan's newest movie, the one that's supposed to kick off the theaters to bring people back. And Rich, I wanted to get your thoughts on it first because you had tons during the trailer. So I'd like to know more whether some of them were real or what were your thoughts?
Oh, they're all real. It's a palindrome. It reads the same backwards as forwards. This is the second trailer I've seen. I don't know if there have been little, teasers before that. But the first one, I was like, oh, okay, whatever. This one, I thought, oh, that is interesting. It gave me a lot more. I did stress that it's kind of a longer trailer. almost 3 minutes. I mean, I hope they don't give away too much, but so far it doesn't look like they spoil plots necessarily.
Yeah.
But it does look interesting, even though, as I mentioned, not a huge Christopher Nolan fan. This guy right here.
Well, it's not time travel, Rich. It's inversion.
It's
Chaz, what do you
inversion.
think about inversion? Is that the new Inception?
I don't know. I was like during the trailer, I'm like, what the fuck is inversion? And then they have that cool little what do you call it? Thing.
Trailer? I
There
have no
was a
idea.
thing.
There was a thing.
There was a
Thing.
thing.
Example. There we go. They had that cool example of like the bullet and stuff. But
That was neat. They
yeah.
have a lot of crazy visuals in this, like as far
So-
as like rewinding a clip while it's already moving forward.
You know what? They have some really cool visuals that don't cost a lot of money. Just roll it backwards.
Yeah, right.
No.
Oh, but it's when they were going really in depth of that stuff. Where I was like, wait a minute, how is any of what? Hold on.
What? Wait a minute. What a visionary. Roll it backwards. Oh my God. No.
I think my wife and you are in the same boat, because after she'd watched this trailer, the first thing out of her mouth was, I don't like trailers that make me feel stupid. And bad enough that a movie could possibly do that, but for a trailer also, like, it's not that they're teasing you for what's to come. You still have no clue what's coming, because a lot of the stuff is just kind of gobbledygook until you know what the story of it is. So I guess I can see where she's coming from. But you were saying that Christopher Nolan isn't really, like, he's overrated from what you are saying. What do you think?
Well, I think he's calling this Tenant because if he called it inversion, they would just be like, what is with him in the In movies?
That could be it. That could
So he
be
went,
it.
wait, Tenant reads the same backwards as forwards. And then he did it from the other side and said, yeah, it does. And then he just made Tenant.
Him and his brother's
But,
like, Tenant?
no,
What
I
about
mean,
Tenant?
I have certainly enjoyed other Christopher Nolan films. I do think around Inception, he started to drink his own Kool-Aid and be like, I am a genius. Everything I do is amazing, even when it's stupid. Like, for instance, with Inception, I'm like, okay, I did this when I was a kid. We used to make up shit as we went along, too. Only I didn't put millions of dollars behind it. It's this, oh, we can't do this in the dream. Oh, no, wait, we can. I made a serum so that we can. Oh, when did you do that? Just now, just to make sure that we could do it. Oh, okay. And this is just happening over and over again in Inception, where they just make stuff up as they go along. And then came Interstellar, and I laughed my head off.
Okay, so Interstellar is where I can side with you on it, because I didn't agree. And Chaz, is your tongue still in your mouth, or did it just fall off because you bit it off? Because we've been knocking Nolan too much. Well, I haven't, Rich has.
Oh, I'm not done yet, but go ahead.
Interstellar with the whole love thing. That's the part that got me. The ending was too much. But Chaz,
I loved the whole, oh my God, the last thing of okra. I'm like, no, half the people in this theater don't know what okra is. You want to impress me? Tell me it's the last crop of corn. That's an emergency.
So you want it to be catered to the mark inside of,
I just wanted it to
cinema.
make sense.
You want the same viewership that came out of the swamp to come and watch.
No, I mean literally. Corn is in everything. We use corn for ethanol. Blah blah blah. I mean, if corn goes down, we are in trouble. If okra goes down, would you even notice? Seriously.
Here we got this thing of corn. Well, Chris Nolan movie gonna make a corn movie. We're gonna go see the corn movie. He's British. He understands what happens when the corn goes away. You go away. You ain't fucking time travel. All kinds of shit. Okay. That's the first time I've put in a actual full song with it. That worked pretty well. Chaz, tell us the truth. Give us the gospel, man. Why are we wrong?
I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I mean, you have valid points to dislike some of his movies, for sure. But Interstellar is one of my favorites, so that's why I'm like, whoa.
Oh my God. Oh, I can't wait.
Oh shit.
Oh, I know. And like, I had nightmares when that movie came out on Blu-ray, thinking it was sold out at Walmart.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, seriously. So I actually went to Walmart before I went to school in the morning, and I bought the Blu-ray to secure my copy because I love that movie so much. But where I fall off the Christopher Nolan wagon is at Dunkirk, because I think that movie was not hyped up to be like what it was set to be.
Mhm.
Even though I admire his storytelling of like the structure. Like I think he's a great storyteller of structure, but like Rich has said, some stuff he kind of makes up like on the fly. And with that I can agree. But
The
with
Batman
Tenet,
ending wasn't methodically thought out.
oh,
He's
I
got
love
a
Batman.
bomb. The bomb is gonna go off, and he's got to get the bomb out of here. Where
Yeah.
did you learn that from, Chris Nolan? I was watching Batman, the TV series.
He had this
They had a
bomb.
really great section. I want to do that section.
I gotta get the
And remember, it's
Oh.
all about love.
That's not what that movie was about. Anyway, I with Tenet though, it looks like he's going back to his roots before he became known for like what he's known for, you know?
He's making it's like a spy movie. It feels like a spy movie with Nolan's sensibilities of making you want to not know anything going in and still leaving the theater not knowing much,
So
but
question.
knowing that you were something happened.
Well, I have a question for you guys. Did you see Star Wars in IMAX when that was in theaters?
Which one?
Rise of Skywalker.
I didn't see it in IMAX. I don't think so.
I'm not sure.
Unless Rich was a screening in IMAX, I don't think it was.
You know what? I actually think I did see it in IMAX. I also saw that, the marathon. That's why I'm getting confused. But I'm pretty sure I saw it in IMAX. Yeah.
Because during my IMAX screening, they had an 8-minute preview of Tenet. And it was the scene with the whole opera house.
I didn't see that.
Oh,
Interesting.
yeah, and
Please
even
tell.
watching that, like, it was really intense, and nobody knew what the hell was going on. And after it ended, we're like, was that a trailer or was that like a sneak preview? And then like it kept going and going and going, and we realized it was like a sneak preview for Tenet. We're just like, what the fuck? Like, that was not expected at all. So I'm a little bit more excited for this for that reason, because like what I saw from that 8-minute snippet or whatever it was, like, was really interesting.
And then when the theaters closed out, they were like, Chris, how are you going to be able to get the next trailer out? Minecraft.
Minecraft? Wait, what?
That's where they premiered the Tenant trailer, was on Minecraft.
Seriously?
Yeah. They made drive-in theaters inside of Minecraft, and people got in their avatars and went over and watched the Tenant trailer.
Oh my lord.
It's amazing. I think this will be a Christopher Nolan movie. So whatever you take away from that is how you're going to feel when you see the movie.
Well, see, I thought the same thing with Dunkirk when that was announced. I'm like, well, how is this going to be a Christopher Nolan movie? And then I had theories that had to do with like the Bermuda Triangle. Like he's going to throw some sort of weird paradigm in there with the Bermuda Triangle, and it's a different time lapse kind of thing, right? And then I was way off, as we all saw. And so I just saying it's a Christopher Nolan movie, I don't think that's doing that justice. Because that doesn't sum anything up.
Fair enough. Well, whatever you guys thought, leave a comment down below. Tell us what you think. And with that, let's move on to our next story, which California is ending the coronavirus halt on filming, and stringent protocols are due Monday. And this was on May 20th. This is a little bit old. However, this is kind of where the direction of Hollywood is going. Things are starting to reopen. People are looking to seeing how they can do safe procedures when starting to make films and stuff. We talked a little bit about Matrix 4 and Batman starting to resume production, but I want to get your thoughts on this, Rich. What do you think? Because you've gone through junkets, you've met with a lot of people like this. What do you think about Hollywood in general reopening? Do you think it's as easy as maybe they're thinking, or is this going to take a lot longer?
I think it's going to be weird if they want to stick with any of the protocols, like at a standard junket. Okay. The last junket I went to, people weren't shaking hands already. But you sit, far apart from them. But then they had you also have to spread out the people waiting in line for the junkets. Who's doing your makeup? who's putting your mic on, who's doing all this stuff. I mean, on Fox 13, for instance, we have our regular stick mic on a boom pole, and the person stands 6 to 10 feet from us, and that's how we talk to them. And that's quite a workout for your arm, by the way, just to hold that sucker out there when people are talking. But imagine that, and that's a small scale, that's an interview. Imagine those kind of protocols, et cetera, that you have to adhere to when you're actually working on a big production, where people really have to work together. I mean, close quarters, literally touching each other, costume, hair, makeup, stunts, all that. I don't really know how they're going to do it and keep with those protocols. And maybe they shouldn't. I don't know. Maybe they should try to do an experiment and make a movie within those protocols. No one touches each other. You know, I don't know. Make a movie from Rogue's point of view. I don't know, but
George Bluth's Senior's movie. No touching.
No touching. Yeah, I was thinking of making some kind of a script like that called No Touching, where life after COVID kind of thing. But I don't know how they're going to do it, and I don't think they're going to do it well. I think it's going to take a few people getting sick on a set for someone to go, whoa, wait a minute. And as soon as a big celebrity gets sick, that's going to shut everything down again.
It only takes one, especially in these cases where, like, you don't just have, like, this isn't something where it's like we've got a small crew, we're going to do an independent film. If it's a Marvel project or like something big, where even if it's a movie where it's like we have a sex scene, I don't think we're ever going to see sex scenes, or at least
I got sex scenes on my phone. You want to see it?
unless you're browsers and you've got all your stuff over there. We need to get the Pornhub like sound thing that comes on, freak out half the audience. It's like, oh, what did I have up on the screen? But I think that maybe we could find a happy medium with television. I don't know.
Wow.
The smaller format seems to be growing bigger and bigger. I just don't know that. I don't think extras are going to be as big a thing as they used to be. I don't think that we're going to have a lot of, I don't know, assistant work. It might be a lot of like, we're a very small, closed off set and we have to make with what we can. What do you think about this, Chaz?
Do you watch a lot of stuff at home, Chaz, now that you're home?
Oh, yeah. I watch a lot. Dude, like, even, I don't know. I think it's still too soon to even, like, try to start production on that massive a scale, you know? Yeah, I don't know. Just because, like, seeing people post on Facebook asking for help to film, I'm like, no thanks.
I went to the post office today, and 75% of the people were doing what they're, told to be doing, sheep.
Right.
But, the other folks aren't. And imagine that on a large scale, where a quarter of the people working on a movie are not distancing or not, washing hands or masks or anything. You got a problem.
It's like a cesspool for this sickness. Like,
yeah.
Totally.
But I wonder if people are going to get used to watching stuff at home, and then other than like something big like a Star Wars on an IMAX, kind of just rather watch it at home. I remember when Siskel and Ebert were still a thing, and of course Ebert was still alive, and both of them were still alive. They were on Saturday Night Live or some talk show, and they showed them in fake theater chairs, and they were arguing and yelling and stuff. So they were kicking the seat of the person in front of them, acting like the kind of people they hate to watch movies with. And there was popcorn all stuck to the floor and screaming babies. And I thought, yeah, that does kind of suck. And here I can watch it whenever I want, as loud as I want. Oh, I got to go to the bathroom? Pause. Oh, wait, I'll get myself something to drink. I don't know. I wonder if people are going to get used to that and stop going to the movies unless it's like an event movie, even when it opens up.
yeah, that's my word.
Release the Snyder Cut, am I right?
Exactly.
Especially like because now
Snyder Cut.
Release the fucking Snyder Cut. You know what I mean? Like, what are we waiting for? There's some goodies in there.
So it's like, well, I could just wait and watch it then instead of have to pay the money to go to a theater. Yeah. But also, like, I think local theaters like the Tower and the Broadway, like, I think those are great to have, and I just don't want those to be affected by this. And I'm sure they're going to have some sort of impact, and that's what saddens me. Is that.
Well, you know, and Patrick probably knows this too. I mean, a lot of reviews, a lot of people end up going, "Oh, this is good," but you know, not one to see in the theater. Like you end up going, it's a rental. Like, don't worry about it. And I think a lot of people are going to be like, Tenant, that's a theater movie. But this one over here, this character-driven study where people are talking, I'll wait on that one. And that means those things are going to take a hit and they're not going to be made. And then the only thing we're going to see are the big blow-em-ups. So I don't know.
We're already halfway there, it seems. Like, as long as, and here's from what they're actually saying that they're going to do, filming will resume in countries that meet testing, hospitalization capacity, and other criteria established by the state. So they're not going by the government rule. So thankfully, Trump is going to have a ton of, like, open up and let me in to, like, be cameoed and stuff. And I will wear a mask. But they will have enough, because California has so far pretty good rules for their COVID stuff. Yeah. I'd like to hold out for hope that maybe some of these, like what's the show with Paul Rudd where it's just him? They can keep doing that show because it's just him.
Oh gosh.
The one where he's cloning himself that's on Netflix right now. Just put that one in. There can do Parent Trap so many times. There can be so many reboots of like.
Yeah. Or a lot of no double shots. Lots of singles. People talking to each other because they're actually 10 feet apart and you just edit it and make it look like they're not.
Yeah. That bugs me as a filmmaker though to do that.
Right. Oh no, totally. Everything about this
like
is
that whole
frustrating.
4th season of Arrested Development. Like were any of those people in the same room?
Oh my god.
No, but I mean,
that stupid season. I hated season 4.
It shows too on that though. Like that season totally sunk because you could tell that there was like some sort of creative restrictions.
No, what it was, to me, the answer is in the editing. If you can't edit your stuff correctly, and this group only works together, they don't work separate. So if you keep them apart too much and you don't have enough like things to sew into your jokes, you can watch the first one, but you have to watch it again and again and again, way more times than you would if it were edited correctly.
Living with Yourself. That was it.
That's the one. Living with Yourself. Nice. Well, that's that, but Bill and Ted 3 is still on the move and is going to be coming. I'm so excited for Bill and Ted Face the Music. Are you guys at all?
Yes.
So ready for this.
I'm down for Keanu Reeves. That's my favorite actor-ish. One of my favorite actors.
I just want to see Bill like do a double tap and shoot someone in the chest and head. That's what I want.
Just at one point, it's like, where'd you learn that, Ted? Whoa, military. I got sent finally. No, this is about Steven Soderbergh more than anything because he surprisingly had a big helping hand in Bill and Ted Face the Music to get in front of cameras. We already knew that he was the executive producer on the movie, but the Ocean's 8 director explained how he got to be in this. Basically, he knew, of course, this is a quote from him, Bill and Ted, it was in his past, and one day they were talking, and he was like, we wrote a Bill and Ted 3, and, well, great, like, what's going on with that? Can I read it? He read it. It was part of a group of people, including Scott Kroof with a PH, and I got that right. That was dope. The original producer, and Keanu and Alex, and really wanted to see this happen. So Steven Soderbergh was a big part of getting Bill and Ted off the ground. This is one of those comedies that's coming decades after the predecessors, and if history has shown us, those aren't very good. So what's going to be the thing that sets Bill and Ted apart? What's going to make this better than all of the other attempts like Zoolander 2, Chaz?
Keanu Reeves. I don't know because even like with like Dumb and Dumber 2 or 3 or whatever that movie was with that came out 2 years ago.
Super Dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dumb and Dumber whatever.
Dumb and Dumber. So I don't know what it was called, but like they had the same actors in it, and like neither of them could save it, And so I don't know if that's gonna be the same case for this. I mean, maybe if it finds its cult, crowd.
I think the cult's there. Their big worry is right now, and I don't think this is even a worry because they're worried also the same thing that we were just talking about, screens and how many people are going to be able to see it. My answer to you is, sir, this is the third installment of a franchise that's 2 or 3 decades before the last one came out. Put it on VOD. Just do it. It doesn't what's your problem? Put it on VOD.
Hey, Trolls World Tour cleaned up. direct to VOD. I mean, you can do it. People are willing to pay for it. In fact, I would say, at least from the people I talk to, especially people with families, they'd rather VOD, because packing your freaking kids up and getting them to the theater to watch, a movie and then paying for them and all that stuff, and then the movie sucks, that turns you off to the next one. But you'll keep trying it if you're at home.
Mm-hmm.
Even if that one movie stinks, well, hey, you still got to entertain your kids maybe 3 hours from now or tomorrow, and you'll just gather around and watch again, especially when you can watch the movie at home for less than if you paid for each one of these little shits to get in. Yeah. Kids, sorry, and I love them.
But I know Kevin Smith recently did like a tour of Jay and Silent Bob reboot movie. So he toured it around different theaters and made money that way, and then he released it on VOD. Yeah, so I wonder if that's also a consideration to do for like these smaller films, is to go on tour with it essentially and then release it in VOD.
We're gonna have these crazy, like back in Prohibition days, like a little like place you go into in this dark bookcase that you open up, and it's a theater. And they're like, "You want to come in, man? We got IMAX." It's like, oh shit, okay.
Sold.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I want to. There's nothing else to say about that. I'm very excited for Bill and Ted. I didn't know Steven Soderbergh was in it, so there's that.
Yeah, no, I'm interested in it. What I'm curious about is, like you said, it was so long ago that a lot of people, maybe they haven't even seen them. You know what I mean? And so they're not as excited. I mean, when Indiana Jones 4 came out, and I was handling the preview, tons of people there, critics and the public. One of the people I was doing it with, who was from the studio, didn't know it was the 4th installment. She hadn't even seen Raiders of the Lost Ark. And because it didn't start with Indiana Jones she didn't even know. And the stuff that maybe you and I think of as, oh, doesn't everybody know about this? They don't. Does everyone know about Bill and Ted? Bill and Ted 2. Does everyone know about Death and the George Carlin in the first one? Do they know all the stuff they might need to know to really enjoy the second one? I think Chaz is right. The thing that's really going to make it is not Bill. It's going to be Ted. It's going to be people going, oh, Keanu Reeves.
You don't think Alex Winter can sell a ticket? How dare you?
Yeah, it's going to be, I love Keanu Reeves. Oh, let's see him as Ted. And they're going to go, hopefully. And hopefully it's good.
I think it will be good. I don't think Keanu would have signed on to this late in the game.
Can we talk about how well Keanu's aged without his beard?
When he shaved his beard, that was a surprise.
It was a surprise, but he's aged very well for being, 55?
Yeah, he's aged great. Keep the beard. He's aged great, though. Keep the beard.
John McFort's all shaved.
Once he shaved, I went, oh no, he's a little older than I thought. He just looks like a very tall, tired teenager.
Oh, man.
Get some rest. Well, there's been enough rest for Zack Snyder because he's finally coming out in a fury. And this leads us into the big, dumb intro video that I have, which is...
Release the Snyder Cut, am I right?
Exactly. Release the Snyder Cut.
Release the fucking Snyder Cut. You know what I mean? Like, what are we waiting for? There's some goodies in there. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there. So hopefully, generally the shit I put out there comes true. Release the fucking Snyder Cut, baby!
To bring back his cut of the Justice League that was in so many different stages. We were told that through many different... It's ready to go. Some people saying, no, he just has the footage. And then one person saying, I have it. It's in my backpack. Everybody has been talking about the Snyder Cut. They put up a plain billboard over San Diego Comic-Con for it. It's been one of the bigger movements. And a lot of dicks have been a part of that movement, attacking critics, doing stupid stuff. And they're also getting a reward with this, getting the Snyder Cut. I'm trying to look past that part. But there's a lot of people that are also insisting that that's like, should we be giving them a thing? I don't know. But for the people that were actually good fans and are getting rewarded with seeing Zack Snyder's full vision, I wanted to know, Rich, what your thoughts were. First of all, because I'm sure they're going to be very, like, not weird or uncommon as of all of the other ones. But what do you think of Man of Steel, BVS, Justice League, all of Zack Snyder stuff? Where do you think this is going?
Well, yeah, like you, I mean, I heard there was a cut, and then thought that it didn't exist. And frankly, I'm always interested in seeing the way the director intended it to come out, even if it's super long or something like that. I personally don't mind things that are long as they are good. Like literally, as they can be as long as they are good. And if that's an hour and a half of good stuff, great. If it's 3 hours, good stuff, great. So yeah, I'm curious about it. I didn't think it was awful, but it wasn't. It didn't live up to the hype, and it wasn't what I wanted from it. So I am very curious to see what Zack Snyder does. I actually met him at Legends of the Galaxy, the Owls of Ga'Hoole.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And he was a super nice guy and everything. And he just seems to like Nolan or like anyone else, he kind of has his way of doing things. And if you like that way, you love his stuff. And if you don't, it all looks the same, that kind of thing. But oftentimes it's like a band. Like a band sounds like itself from record to record sometimes. They don't sound totally different. And when they try something different, they lose half their fans and maybe they gain new ones or whatever. So I'm kind of curious if this director's cut sort of gets a little bit of his rep back, because he's taken quite a hit lately with some of the stuff that he's done. But I am really curious to see it. Again, I'm always really curious to see, an alternate version of something, and supposedly the way that it was, supposed to be. I don't know.
There's about an hour and 15 minutes on the cutting room floor, according to the article.
Wow.
And from this, he also said he hasn't seen this full cut of Whedon's version of Justice League, but from what he's heard, only a quarter of it is actually his stuff that he has done.
Okay.
So this is a completely different film.
And, and Joss Whedon's one of those guys, too. Sometimes you'll like him, hate him, whatever. I go back and forth with him. Sometimes I think he's good in bursts or as a collective team, because sometimes when it's just him, everybody's quippy and sounds just like Joss Whedon. Kind of like Kevin Smith. All of his characters sound like Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I felt that with Justice League a little bit. Some of the stuff in there was a little bit Joss Whedon-y, especially what was the thing that Wonder Woman says at the beginning? What do you believe? What do you believe? It's like, I'm a believer. And then just turning the words against whoever's saying it. That's kind of what he likes to do.
Yeah, he does do that. He works it into his response. Yeah. So yeah, I'll be curious to see a non-Whedon version, I guess.
The biggest news that I just saw today was Zack Snyder put something out when someone had asked if he's going with the Steppenwolf design that was in Joss Whedon's version, or if they were going to go with BVS. He gave a little winky face, which to me says he's in complete control for this new stuff. And you very well might see old Steppenwolf. Chaz, what do you think about this?
Like Rich, I'm all for director's cuts. With Snyder specifically, I always find his stuff more interesting with the director's cuts. And if you let him do his own thing, because I think he's a great visionary director, he just doesn't know how to say no to a shitty script. And he wants to do justice to the script and not piss off everybody. He wants to please everybody.
Justice.
Yeah, buddy.
Who's putting that?
However, the fact that this has not been ready at all just proves that there was a Snyder cut in the first place, and they have to give him $20 million additional dollars. How are they going to make that money back? Because it's going to HBO Max, correct?
Yeah, as far as I know.
But I don't think the answer is that they're getting it back. I think the answer is they're spending less on something they've already got than spending more on something they haven't started yet.
But it's $20 million, especially in the middle of a pandemic.
But here's the thing. Disney Plus would have to then explain for why every episode of their content, they have a budget of $100,000.
$100,000?
I believe so. So this when you think of stuff like that, it is slim pickings for a film, like for a big like blockbuster budget, particularly Justice League. But this already has like a $200 billion budget from when they did the last reshoots and all this stuff. So it's a big thing, big fat cash cow.
I just hope they don't cut it up into mini parts. Like
you don't like the episodic idea? Because that was the thing, Rich. They were going to go for a 4-hour cut or like a 6-hour mini series.
Dude, go for the full 4-hour cut. Like,
what if they split that into 2 parts?
No, you just let Snyder do his thing. Like with Watchmen. Watchmen is a very long fucking movie, the director's cut. And it's superior to the theatrical version in all ways.
Yeah, we just got like a 3.5-hour, Goodfellas ripoff that got nominated
by the same director.
That got nominated for awards. I think if people like it, they'll watch it. I'll watch it. I don't care if it's 4 hours long.
If they give any additional charge, like you've signed up for HBO Max, but you also have like to pay an extra $10, would you go for it still?
No, because it's on HBO Max. I'm already paying up the ass for HBO Max. Why'd I pay additional?
And I don't pay for shit.
Yeah.
You motherfucking accuser!
I don't know why that was the one. I think this is exciting because just like once you finish something like Justice League and you walk out of the theater and you're thinking to yourself, there's just never going to be another chance, another first chance to show that team.
Yeah.
It's weird that we're getting that shot right now and that it's going to be as different as it is to make it feel like it's a whole new look, like a whole new intro.
Because from what I remember correctly, people were complaining about how dark Batman versus Superman was.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Justice League we got was a lot more light in tone compared. So I wonder if this is going to have the same dark tone that BVS had initially.
They for sure will. There's a lot of stuff in this that involve Cyborg's character particularly was given the shaft hard on his character. Superman's whole idea, Steppenwolf, his intention is completely off from what Zack Snyder originally had. Darkseid was going to be a bigger part in this. He was going to be in it. Green Lanterns are going to be in it. Martian Manhunter was going to be in it. There's so many weird things. I saw just today when I was putting together the trailer for it, a screen grab of Willem Dafoe in this Justice League. Like the shot, he's got this long hair, but he's wearing.
Spill your beans.
Yeah, it's like he just came out of the lighthouse. I'll see you in Aquaman.
Spill your beans.
Here's the biggest question, though: are they going to CGI Henry Cavill's mustache?
I'm hoping they don't even have that footage. But he still has the mustache, right? I think he still has it contractually because they were doing Mission Impossible, the next ones.
Yeah. So my question
They've got the same problem.
People were
Whatever.
Because people were complaining about the CGI of his mustache. I couldn't tell a difference at all, but somehow all these nitpickers came.
You couldn't tell the difference of that?
I couldn't tell a difference.
Wow. Rich, could you tell a difference?
Yeah, and I kind of wondered because sometimes I could tell and sometimes I couldn't. There were clearly shots where
the phone footage at the beginning is so
footage was bad, and they hid it in the phone footage, to make it But I'm sitting there going, that isn't even that important. If you've got this footage that you can't use, don't feel a need to shove it in there if it looks stupid.
Yeah.
But when he, I don't know, when they bring him back to life and all that, that was one of the few times when I went, have him come back. Scruffy, bearded.
Give him the mullet.
Something.
Give him the Superman mullet. Give him the black suit.
People say hair doesn't stop growing. Whatever. It's like, let it happen. I don't know. There are a lot of little things, little considerations that happen in a movie that for some reason take on this massive life. Just like Chad was saying, the nitpicker's going to go, oh, this one thing is upper lip. 4 seconds of upper lip. My movie's ruined. Like,
that's amazing.
I mean? You know what? In fact, the first time I saw Watchmen, the original theatrical version, these guys were coming out complaining, saying, honestly, they were saying, "Oh God, 3 hours of big blue dick." So
they just got incredibly homophobic. They're like, "You looked at it for too long. You looked at it too long. I saw you."
Well, I saw it again, and I got my phone with me, a little stopwatch, and every time I saw dick, I hit the stopwatch. I was just curious. Absolutely, like how much dick was in this? Big blue dick was in this movie. 8 seconds. 8 seconds.
He needs some milk.
So come on. Like, I don't really even care if his upper lip looks dumb or whatever. Just give me a decent script where they're not ridiculous, where the heroes aren't doing stupid shit all the time. You know, a villain with a good motivation. You know, all that.
And I wouldn't mind like 8 seconds of blue dick every movie.
I've heard.
As long as you go 8, just 8.
Yeah, I've heard.
Nothing more, nothing less.
8 seconds for 8 inches.
A second an inch. It was kind of big.
Every review. Let's first talk about this.
Yeah. Meanwhile, my girlfriend at the time was like, was anyone complaining when they showed tits? Like in any movie, do you go, oh my God, 8 seconds of tits, my movie's ruined? No. It's just guys aren't used to seeing.
Well, hold on though. Conflating a penis to a disgusting mushroom toad looking, like, let's be honest, penises are not good looking things.
Mine
Like,
is.
those things are terrifying for an abundance of reasons. Boobs
I
are
think my
innocent.
balls are lousy. Let's just.
Is this where we're going?
I'm just saying.
So what'd you
I
guys
just
think
there's
of?
a double standard is all I'm saying.
And then that's the mushroom stamp on that.
Show this to your mom.
I'm getting out of here. Goodbye.
Well, what did you guys think of Snyder Cut? Are you excited for the Justice League? Whatever your thoughts are, please leave a comment down below. And
What do you think of big blue dicks in movies? Put your comments below.
please rate them. Please rate him and at Richard for all of. Make sure he knows exactly. Really though, I want to thank you, Richard, for coming on and talking to us about this. And
Are we done? The big blue dick should kick me off, huh?
well, we're transitioning into our interview with Jillian. You're gonna have a chance to talk with our last employee of Blockbuster because he actually has a lot to say about the Snyder Cut. He claims that he started the movement, so he's wanting to get into it. But real quick before we do that, we got one viewer question. It's coming from Brandon Ushio, who's luckily got to put this out before Facebook kicked me out. His question is, how important is it to stick to the source material when adapting a book to a movie? So in that, I mean, I'm kind of thinking Harry Potter, Hunger Games, the ones that have been really big, or even like Stephen King adaptations. The one that goes closer to an adaptation of Stephen King's end up being the ones that are a little better. But maybe things like Prisoner of Azkaban, where Alfonso Cuarón had more leeway to do things he wanted, made the book better in that sense. What do you guys think about this? Is there a middle ground, a balance to the two, or does one need to be more than the other?
I think I'd like to hear from Chaz about this, specifically about, for instance, Watchmen.
There we go.
Okay.
Because that was practically, like screen for, little box for box, except for the squid.
Right.
And some people complained that it was too close to the script. And some people complained, where's the squid? I'm like, God, you people, what do you want? You know what I mean?
So okay, I mean, so it depends like what kind of source you're talking about, because I mean, like Rich was saying, like comic books have panels which kind of act like storyboards, really, and so they can take a lot of inspiration from those.
Sure.
Whereas books are completely up to the imagination, and so you have to sacrifice some elements of the book in order to translate well into the screen, because not everything that's in a book is going to translate well into the screen. That's just not how the two mediums work.
Sure.
And like you would know that. I mean, if you've written a script, it's written differently than a novel. Like it's not prose at all. It's a whole different way of writing and trying to convey images. And so ultimately, as long as I think as the nuance and the themes and like a lot of the major plots lines that are taken from the book are adapted onto the screen in any way or form, I think that's better than completely, like, I mean, one of my worst adaptions ever was Aragon from 2006. Like, I loathe that movie so much. I love the book growing up in elementary, and like to this day, it's like that's not how you can make a movie. Like, they changed so much from the book, because I don't know, but I think you just have to focus in on like a lot of the themes and the tone and the nuance, essentially, to get well onto the big screen. Like especially with it. You mentioned Stephen King. It is such a complicated book. It's very long. It's intertwined differently, and
Yeah, where's the supportive gang rape? Where's the cosmic turtle? Where's where is all that?
Seriously, and like the way that movie works is like in the book, the timelines intersect, like they're very intertwined, whereas the new movies made it into two parts, kids versus the adults, essentially. And like that works better.
But the second half was like mostly kids still, because they were like, those kids need money.
They did go back and forth still. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, let me counter with that.
That was one of my beefs with that movie, but what?
Well, let me counter with that, because the second film is in line with, is in step with the second half of the book, in that it's not as good as the first half. Like Stephen King's second half of that book doesn't he's been known to not really be able to give a good ending. So is that where the process can come in and enhance a Stephen King film? Is that where people want to go into it? Or when it comes to, like, say, Mockingjay with the Hunger Games series, everybody kind of knew that this last book was the weakest of the group. So when they split that movie into two parts, to be as faithful as they could be, it ended up making it even slower, even harder to follow along in some paces.
Twilight 3 and 4.
And the new one that's coming out, that's all about, I don't know.
Another Twilight.
Yeah, there's some new Twilight. And a new Hunger Games actually just recently came out, I believe.
Oh, well, it's just like the Hobbit, how they made that into 3 movies.
Exactly.
Like, I don't think that's necessary. But I mean, like, even like going back to Stephen King, I mean, like, have you seen Dr. Sleep or read Dr. Sleep?
Yeah. Well, I haven't read it, but I've seen it.
Okay, so did you watch the director's cut?
No.
Oh, I would highly recommend it.
And
so,
yeah,
like,
I'm all for director's cuts. Sure, why not?
Yeah, so like, I mean, what Mike Flanagan does in that movie is the way the book ends. Like the last 20 minutes of the movie does not happen in the book at all. But what he does is he takes inspiration from The Shining, and he ties it in thematically to like what the book was trying to convey. And in fact, I think he made the book and the movie both stronger to please both fans alike. So it was a sacrifice he had to take with that. So I'm for making sacrifices like that. It's just you have to think of the bigger picture.
You know what, though? The Shining's probably a good example because, notoriously, Kubrick's version, Stephen King doesn't like it.
Right.
And a lot of people I know who read The Shining are like, that movie isn't the book. I don't like it. Yeah. So then they made that telemovie version, which was like 6 hours long, stuck everything in there, and I'm going, that's a 6-hour movie. Come on. So sometimes you have to, you inspired by the book or whatever. But if you're going to take it, panel for panel, word for word, it's going to be tough. I read Lord of the Rings and all that stuff as a kid. And like you're saying, in the book, your imagination takes over from these descriptions. I mean, I remember first seeing the movies and going, oh my gosh, this is exactly the way I sort of pictured it would look, I mean, everything down to like the stupid doorknob of his house and just all this. And I'm like, but you can't do what he did and go on for 2 pages about the doorknob. Mm-hmm. I mean, like he described like the entryway to his hut for like a page or 2. And I'm going,
you can after lines and lines of cocaine, Rich.
I guess you can. But the same way with Watchmen, I remember when I first saw it and that whole opening sequence, which technically wasn't in the book. And I thought, oh, it's a great setup though. And then you see the comedian getting the beans kicked out of him. And I'm going, wow, this is a really long fight sequence. Are they all going to be like this? You didn't have to show every second. So, I don't know. It's tough.
I think the real answer of this, Brandon, is whoever has the creative control of the film, that's the most important direction. That's the most important part of it because they get to choose which parts work and which parts don't. And if you're J.K. Rowling and you're writing the screenplay for books that you've been writing, you're going to quickly find out that they don't translate very well when you're doing Fantastic Beasts films.
But hopefully you're knowledgeable.
But if you get a good screenplay, a screenwriter that knows what he's doing or she's doing,
And that's why I'm not mad at Snyder, for instance, for Man of Steel. He didn't
We're all mad!
Well, he didn't write
it. Brethren, you motherfucker!
Like, I don't get when people get mad at directors for the plot. Like, they didn't write it, man. They're stuck with certain things.
Although Chris Terrio, we can kind of a little. I mean, A little bit. Maybe
A little
bit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Don't get me
Chaz.
started.
Every damn time. Oh man. Yeah. Well, does that answer the question, Brandon? I hope to God it does. If anyone has any other questions that they'd like to submit, don't do it on Facebook because I'm not there. Do it on YouTube or do it on Chaz's Facebook or somewhere where I'm somewhere. Who knows?
On Twitter.
You know,
On
I
Twitter.
really think that's why they call it, movie magic, because sometimes you take every panel and you put it on the screen and it doesn't work. And sometimes you just take the bare bones of something, it inspires you to a story, and it works. Depends on a massive amount of creative people coming together. And sometimes it's Fleetwood Mac rumors, and sometimes it isn't. And like you just don't. How do you get that stuff in the bottle? I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you get a lot of creative people who are willing to work together and bounce ideas off each other and come up, and the best stuff wins.
Yeah, and like my biggest thing too is like when people are so critical of these works, I'm like, what would you have done differently then? And like they can't really offer any insight into like what they would have done differently. Like they don't understand the whole process of it, which I think everybody should.
And
if you're a critic, you need to know the process.
And some of it is such an unwieldy beast.
Yep.
They can't control everything. And sometimes in the end, it's like, oh, crap. Brad Pitt broke his arm in the middle of this thing. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to shut down. No, we're going to use it. We're going to stick it in 7. He's going to have a broken arm for the rest of it. And then someone, one of these ideas come up. All these things happen during production and money and all the hands in that pot, and all those people can say no who have nothing to do with it. I'm sure both of you have heard about Wonder Woman and that no man's zone, that no man's land kind of scene, which is iconic. Apparently the producers were like, we don't need this scene. This is stupid. Wait a minute. You're not storytellers. You're the money. Shut up. Give me the money and go away. And, this amazing scene they didn't want there at all. So it's interesting.
Yep.
A lot of cogs in that machine.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much again for that. And we're going to take a quick break. But when we get back, we are going to have our quick little chat with Jillian from the last Blockbusters. Stay tuned. Be right back.
All right, we're back, and Patrick's not here for whatever reason. Probably something to do with his Facebook. Right now, though, we have Jillian from Blockbuster.
Yeah,
How are you
hi.
doing, Jillian?
Hey, Chaz. It's good to be on. It's good to be on. We got a lot of I don't know if you heard. Got some news. Got some news. What was that?
News.
Yeah,
We do.
yeah.
Are you? Do you want to break the news, or do you want me to break the news?
It's back, baby! We got the Snyder Cut, motherfucker! We got the Snyder Cut! It's back. And we have got it. This is better than when my girlfriend, when I caught her cheating and I got to tell her that I was right for once. This is better than anything. This is better than when I finally got kicked out of camp for eating everything. Like I've made it. This is great. This is fantastic.
And you started the Snyder Cut? Is that what we're hearing?
I wouldn't say that I started it, more that I guided it and maybe initiated it. It all started back in the wee odd days of Justice League. I had ordered a large Coke and spilled it all over my aunt who came with me. And she said, Jillian, for the 5th time, I can't keep bringing you alcohol into the theater. And that's when I realized, I'm tired of taking shit from people. And I'd only thrown the alcohol because it was Joss Whedon's cut anyway. So from that point on, I decided enough was enough. And I didn't think it's going to be this good.
What are you looking forward to the most with this Snyder Cut coming out?
Length.
Who's that? Is there a new person?
That's our new friend. That's our new friend, Rich Bonaduce.
Okay, Rich, what's your favorite Snyder film, starting with all of them?
Wow, as director or writer or producer?
Okay. How about as creator of it all? Yeah, okay. All right. Who is this guy? Chaz, who'd you bring in here?
I happen to be a card-carrying member of Blockbuster.
Well, we cut up cards and went to email, so invalid.
I still carry it because I enjoy it.
Okay, well, we're going to make sure that this guy isn't allowed in Oregon or anywhere near the Blockbuster store. But to answer your question, Chaz, what I'm thinking is we're going to expand. We're moving forward past the Snyder Cut. We're not even thinking about that anymore. We need to go to places where no cinephile has ever gone, that we can try to bring together the fan base like never before. And there's only one film to do that with. Cats. Cats. Specifically, the Butthole Cut. I think it's time we release the Butthole Cut, people. Release the Snyder Cut, fans. This is what we've got to do. Everybody march into the alley that's behind your house and find yourself a cat. Once you find that cat, take a picture of his little Rolo butthole and put that on Instagram and hashtag it, release the Butthole Cut. Rich, are you with me?
Yeah, I have plenty of cat buttholes on my phone right now.
That's the first start. That's the first step. Warner Brothers has bowed to our demands, and now they will bend the knee to the Butthole Cut.
Jillian, explain to those who are not familiar what exactly the Butthole Cut is.
It's just the true version of Cats, where we actually get to see every anatomy of each person that is involved in the film. We get to see Jason Derulo with his authentic, however big of a dick that he has. We get to see the Rolo buttholes that they've spent so much time. Think about the special effects artists that spent so much time making those buttholes and just not having them out. It's worse than Zack Snyder, to be honest. It's worse because it's hundreds of people they did this to.
Well, that's pretty much porn, is it not?
Well,
it's better.
If you go to the right site.
It's cat.
What kind of sites are you going to, Chaz? You going
not cat porn, as Rich puts it.
Well, we've got plenty of rentals here. We could find you anything that you want, Rich. But in this case, I think that it's time that we release what the people have wanted, and I think I'm going to start that movement today.
Okay,
release the Butthole Cut.
Okay, but what if? Let's put a hypothetical here, Jillian. What if the Snyder Cut sucks? Was it going to be worth it then? Is it going to be worth the movement?
I can't do this. Not with this guy. No. Okay. I'm done. I'm out of here. So thank you, Chaz, and thank you, Rich. We'll see you at the premiere of the Butthole Cut.
Jillian. Can you believe that guy? What a fucking asshole.
And I needed to return this VHS. This is crazy.
Not an asshole. Not an asshole. You can't talk to people like that. I'm still on. I haven't hung up yet.
Okay.
But I'm going to now.
Oh. Well,
there.
That's Jillian's. That is Jillian.
I hung up.
Okay.
All right. So after that unholy whatever that was, I want to thank my guests for coming on and dealing with that and talking to me about Snyder Cut and doing all this stuff. Richard Bonaducci, thank you so much for coming on. Where can the people find you?
I'm not giving out my address, if that's what you're saying.
I need your home address. Where do you?
Fine. What
train do you take?
Here is Patrick's social security number. Now that you have his Facebook. Watch me on Fox 13. I'm on there all the freaking time, but mainly in the mornings during Good Day Utah.
And of course, my co-host Chaz. What am I doing? I'm out of it today. Today's been such an off day.
Chad is great too, whoever he is. Chad, where are you, Chad?
Chaz, I'm sorry.
Pretty good.
Pretty. Nah, I would have. If I were Larry David in this thing, I would have been kicked out of the room. Just like, get out. No good? No good?
Me?
No good? Okay. This was good. This was a good time. It was fun. Where can people find you, Chaz?
You can find me on the Twitterverse and the Instagramverse and all the good stuff. Yeah.
But where can they find Chad? That's what I want to know.
You can find Chad
on the new Facebook profile I'll be creating tonight.
That's right.
We'll be using
Chad.
We'll be using to
Patrick,
fight the system.
So explain to people what happened to your Facebook, so like they're not just like, what?
If I knew how to explain it, I would. That's the thing. We don't know what happened.
My brother Chad did that. I didn't do that.
Either someone really did not like the cold open that was just aired, or I've just got someone's got a crush and they don't know how to express it, so they just disabled my account.
So is this clearly like a disabling, or is this not an
I don't know.
accident?
For some reason, it's completely disabled. I can see my page and I can see my business page, but my profile itself is right now non-existent. It told me to send some stuff to say the things and whatever, but
so if I looked it up, I'm gonna try to look it up. Well, what do I get when I look it up? What's there?
It says, sorry, there's a criminal that we just had to forcibly remove from Facebook. And now that you're associated, you're gone too.
He's not worthy.
Let's see.
Yeah.
But you know what? Beatty reviews is there.
Yeah, but not me in itself, and I can't log in to do anything on there.
Not your personal thing.
Yeah, and everything's connected to that with Facebook. So to get to your page, you have to go through your profile, and they've got that locked down. So Facebook, if you're listening, number one, hi, glad that we were able to have this dialogue together. Really happy for what you were doing today with all this stuff. Please stop. Please put that back up. You know, we like our Facebook Live. I think we do pretty good. Pretty.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, you know what? There are a lot of Patrick Beatty's out there.
Maybe that's the problem.
Patrick Gibson.
Too many people were like, I'm going to do my review channel. And Facebook's like, there's too many of them.
And then there's a Patrick Beatty. I got 4 of them here. But none of them are you. Huh.
Jeez. So they'll let just any Patrick Beatty on the streets in there?
This is bull, puppy.
But the one that's got this can't get in?
Well, I'm sorry.
Right. Well, Facebook, fuck you. We'll see you at the next review.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.